Let's go.
Here we go.
All right, guys, welcome to the TrevStone show with Schultzy here in Vegas. First episode together.
Yes, sir.
I guess we can start talking about our flights at first. My flight got delayed a little bit, not as bad as yours.
Yeah, my flight got delayed like an hour and a half. It was like really bad weather in Hartford, and then they were like, "Oh, the plane ran out of fuel," which is the polite way of saying we're not gonna fly until the lightning is done. But other than that, it was a good flight. A little turbulent, but nice and easy. Point A to point B.
Yeah, we didn't do anything last night. Obviously, he got here late. We just chilled. Woke up this morning. I got a little bit of a stomach ache. It's getting better, but it's not terrible. I guess we can talk about like plans for this week.
Yeah.
We got tomorrow, Friday, right? Tomorrow's Friday.
Yeah.
That's Lil Jon.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'll be fun. We'll be at his DJ set, and then we'll be going from there. Check out some other areas. Tonight we'll probably check out Fremont Street. We'll probably go live in different spots. We're gonna do some man on the street stuff. Don't know if we'll do that today. It might be tomorrow. Who knows? We're here for a few days, so we got lots of time. We'll be doing more episodes like this. Hopefully get some guests. Who knows? But yeah. Shit, so what should we talk about?
Just cranking out some things. Well, I think to start off in the pro sports extra world, we had our new biggest month now.
Yeah, that's true.
To close out June.
Over 5 million views.
Crazy.
Fucking nuts, dude. Honestly.
And that's from over 3 million the month prior.
Yeah, it just keeps climbing.
Stacking and stacking.
Hopefully
stacking.
it can continue.
Yeah, I think so. It's a good wave we have right now.
That Newsbreak, shout out to them.
Yeah,
obviously.
Seriously, shout out to Newsbreak and picking up all articles. They actually picked up a couple of mine, which were like weird because they weren't like that clickbait thing.
Yeah.
The lane.
Yeah.
They picked up like 2 of my articles this month, which was nice.
Hell yeah. So what other NCAA?
Yeah, I think that's probably the biggest thing. We were talking about that. So like as of July 1st now, student athletes, Division I athletes can start making money off their likeness, their brand, start doing endorsements and things like that. And there's a couple like cool things that have happened since then, or observations people have made. In 2019, Dabo Sweeney had an interview where he was like, if college athletes start making money off their name, I'm going to quit. So I'd like to see where like the status of some coaches are in the Division I, what's going to happen for them. But also a really cool thing that happened, Auburn's quarterback, Bo Nix, he's the first NCAA Division I athlete to get a brand deal or like show that he has a brand deal. So as soon as the clock hit midnight, he tweeted out a picture and it was like with Milo Sweet Tea, which I guess is a sweet tea brand that's based in the South, or maybe they're based everywhere. But he did a quick endorsement, so that's going to open the floodgates to like
he's been waiting
for
that.
Of course, good-looking kid, Auburn quarterback, Cali. He looks like he's a Cali kid. Of course, he was waiting on that endorsement. It's going to be interesting to see how like the girls utilize their like branding with like I'm sure clothing lines are not and on makeup, everything. So that's the thing that's the thing I was talking about with some friends is like people have to understand how big like the likeness is now. Like you're gonna see teams and colleges get brand coaches and like start telling and helping these players like build their brands and stuff. So it's interesting. And another interesting thing with like the whole NCAA thing is Reggie Bush now. People are like, because Reggie Bush, obviously, he had his Heisman strip because he was making money and selling jerseys or whatever. People are saying he needs his reparations and he needs his Heisman back. So I think that's funny. And it's Johnny Manziel, too, when he was in that little thing where he was making like $100,000 signing, memorabilia and stuff. So you're gonna see a totally different world in the next year or so with these athletes and getting these deals and stuff. So definitely interesting, definitely well deserved. I'm someone that's been on the side of the athletes.
Right? Why not? Honestly, that's the thing. If the colleges are making all this money off of these players,
billions.
Yeah. Why the fuck?
Well, my thing is like, I get if you're not like if your likeness isn't being used and your like image isn't being used. Okay, I understand you not making money off of that because you're getting paid to go to school. But if you're seeing like you're being branded with like your likeness, your images, and everything like that, you need to get money for that. And I think like that's where like my like foot was on this like position. And I watched ESPN had like this weird documentary, and it was like following these high school kids who like turned Division I athletes, and they weren't really successful. And how these kids, like one kid got like really injured, but he was a star of this like low Division I program, but his like likeness was on everything, and he just like brought up the argument like, why am I not getting anything? Like, I'm done after this. Like, I just pretty much had a career-ending injury, and he's like, there's no way I can make it to the NBA. I'm gonna try, but he's like, why can't we not make money off of things that they're using? He's like, I don't want to make millions of dollars, but he's like, if you're putting me on posters, if you're putting me on billboards and everything like that, and I'm generating money, why am I not getting paid?
I think it's different if maybe you're like not getting played at all, if you're like a bum, you know what I mean? If you don't get playing time, then, then you're not going to get paid as much. I don't think that players should really, maybe college players should get paid to play exactly, but paid for the everything else.
That's the biggest thing, and it's not them getting paid to play or anything.
It's everything else.
Right. It's like when
them having to sign things for the college.
Right. It's like Alabama was saying, if their college football season got like suspended because of COVID, the state of Alabama was going to lose like $2 billion. Who do you think's making the money to get that $2 billion? It's the athletes, and that's from 1 to roster man 100. Like, everybody is generating you money. So if you're making money off the kid's likeness, then they should be getting something. I think a really weird, interesting area we're going to enter into with this whole NCAA thing is how the NCAA is going to track. You're going to see a keen thing on coaches coming down, meaning like coaches getting fired and weird investigations going down of like coaches bribing players to come to the universities now based off the likeness. Like Zion Williamson, it's alleged that he was given like $1 million to go to Duke. You had the DeAndre Ayton scandal like 2 or 3 years ago where like Sean Miller was on tape of saying, give the kid whatever fucking money he needs to get here. Like, he's literally on tape. And then you can even like track this back like in the 90s, like Marcus Camby, when he went to UMass with John Calipari, he was literally given like, his family members were literally given like 5 cars and everything like that. So you're going to start seeing the NCAA come down, and you're going to see crazy allegations where coaches get like suspended and fired and everything like that. You're going to see that happening within like the next 1 to 2 years. You're just going to see major traction start happening. So, but I think it's good that they can make money off their likeness. I just think they're opening a door to a shitstorm is what you're going to see. That's my personal opinion.
The way that you put it there is kind of smart, because I wasn't looking at it that way, but coaches are definitely going to be like...
Right. Well, my biggest thing is like, why is John Calipari, I know he's 9 million years old, but why is he all of a sudden retiring, Right. I'm telling you, shit's going to go down, because they're going to start tracking this better, and you're going to start seeing like money start disappearing from the universities that they once had. And that's the biggest thing that's going to come out of this, which I don't know if that's for good or for better, but I don't know, it just gets you thinking. Right. That's how my brain works, I guess.
I guess so. I was like sitting here, I'm like, holy shit, he's just going off about this, but it makes sense.
It makes sense when you like sit down, and you have to sit down and think about it, because you got to think like, okay, so if a school's bringing in, like for example, if a school's generating like $10 million off of one sport, and then now with the likeness and stuff, and you're divvying it out, if all of a sudden that the school reports that they're down, they're down 12 million, well, where's that 12 million? How did they get that 12 million? Then you're going to start seeing money having to be tracked, and then that's when your head's going to explode. But that's what's going to happen at the end of the day with this. But it should be interesting. It's going to be very interesting. It's great for the athletes, good for a lot of these, the women and Division I sports to start getting some form of equal pay, because you're going to see people cash out. There's the Sedona girl, she's for Oregon. She's a women's basketball player for Oregon. She's huge and vocal and speaking. She was on with Erica of Barstool talking about like her branding and stuff. And she was one of like the 300 athletes that had a civil case against the NCAA, because it was all like influencers that are like Division I players saying they should be making some money off of their likeness or their likeness, or should be able to market it. Then you have like those twins who, I forget what Division I school they play for, the basketball girls. They're very attractive. They should be making a lot of...
They're all over TikTok.
Yeah, they're all over TikTok. They're going to start
Cavender
making money.
twins, I think.
Cavender, yeah, that's their name. You're going to start seeing like these girls cash out.
Which they should be able to.
That's what I'm saying. You're going to start seeing them, if these weird TikTok girls who can like get a lot of money, like Charlie D'Amelio, she can make an empire. Some of these girls who can have a big following like that, they're going to start cashing out too. So it'll be good to see. I think you're going to see a weird thing where you're going to see girls start doing really well early on, and then the guys start being like, okay, now we can start making some serious money. What can I do differently now?
Right.
So I think you're going to see.
Do you think that the girls are going to be making more money
they're smarter.
at first? Yeah.
Yeah, they're smarter.
I think so
they're
too.
They're gonna have people around them, and they're just gonna keep doing what they were doing, but now legal.
Do you think that college girls will be making more than pros than the WNBA?
Well, right. So like, probably you would think. Are you gonna say that a couple of girls are gonna be making millions through when they're in college? I don't know if you can project that, but I think they're gonna be doing a lot better than the majority of the professional WNBA players. I think an average WNBA player now has to make close to $500,000 now with how they made their CBA. So do I think a girl's going to be cashing out $500,000? I don't know. Some of these girls, if they get smart at doing it and they start marketing themselves correctly, it's all scalable. So you'll be able to see. I think $500,000 in a year is very doable for some of these girls.
I agree.
So I don't know if they'll start making millions right off the rip, but it's all how you navigate. I'm sure if they have smart people around them, and like we were talking about off the air, you're going to start seeing an emphasis for these schools to have brand coaches and stuff. So I think they definitely could. I think that Sedona girl, I think she has close to 60 million followers on TikTok. There's no way that she can't monetize that audience quick. Yeah. Even if you think a third of them start buying hoodies that are $30 a piece.
Yeah, exactly. They're gonna have to pay.
Put on demand. Yeah. Right. So you're gonna see girls start making money, and then you're gonna start seeing these guys, really start cashing out these one and done for basketball. You're gonna start seeing those guys be super smart in how they go about their deals. You're gonna see college athletes start announcing Nike deals. You're gonna start see college athletes. Guys announcing Adidas a year in, Jordan, Puma. You're gonna start that'll be where the real cash out is, and that's when the guys will surpass the girls when they start getting these major shoe deals and stuff. That's the only thing that'll hold the girls back from making this money. But the Jordan brand, I think he just endorsed 12 women. He just signed 12 WNBA players to the Jordan brand. So I don't know necessarily. I just think you're gonna see a disparity early on. You're gonna see girls start doing a lot better than guys, just because girls inherently have a better, use of social media than we do as guys.
Right.
They're prettier, they're smarter and savvier in how they're going to go about their ways, and they have more appeal off the rip, whether that's sexual or whether that's their personalities or everything like that. Guys, the guy athletes, really what they have is the sport at the end of the day.
But speaking of making money, it's on the top of my head. See that fucking Jake Paul donated that money to that.
The
UFC
fighter that bet on himself?
Well, there was that UFC fighter, this female, looking needed help or something because she was making no money from Dana White, and she started a GoFundMe because she was making no money, and fucking Jake Paul comes in and donates $5,000.
Yeah, I did see some. I thought you were talking about. I thought he might have donated to the guy that bet his check on himself. Well, that's the thing with the UFC. People don't as much money as the UFC generates, they still have these Neanderthal contracts with their fighters. You get, it's in their contract, you get 5 guaranteed fights, but in that contract, if you suck in your first 2, they can just cut you and end the rep. So Conor, for his first couple fights, he was making no money. There's a fight where he won and he's 50 G's, baby, because he won the fight. Yeah. And he's bragging that he won. UFC, as much money as they bring in, the fighters, the small fighters and stuff don't make the money they should. And even some of the big fighters, they did.
That's why Dana White's worth all that money.
Tyron Woodley, who's going to be fighting Jake Paul, he will easily make his most money for one fight on this. Not over his whole career, because he's a multi-time champ and they have their money that they make for being a world champion and everything. But this will probably be his biggest cash out for a fight. Definitely was Ben Askren's, when you think about Ben Askren wasn't a dollar attraction or anything. So it's a crazy world that Dana White has built with the UFC and those people in Saudi Arabia that now own a majority of the UFC. They've created a very weird mob, but it's I think I read something the other day, it's the 3rd most popular sport in the whole world.
I believe it.
It's soccer, F1, which is the weird racing, It's like Italian drag racing.
That's like second.
That's second most popular. Like, and that means like $1 grossing, I guess. And then third is like UFC, and then you have like MLB and NBA is next. But it's like soccer, F1, which is racing, and then then UFC.
Yeah, like Jake Paul was like, could you imagine somebody in the NBA signing a rookie contract and having to start a GoFundMe because they don't make enough money?
Yeah, I don't know if that's. I mean, that would be crazy, but I don't think maybe he doesn't fully understand like what it's like a non-guaranteed deal once you sign to the UFC. It's great if you sign, but like I said, like they have stipulations in the contract.
Right.
If you
and that's what he's saying though, because Dana White needs to fucking change.
Right. Well, here's the thing on the UFC's part where they could get around this. They can start a developmental fight league where it's like a longer. What's the show? Ultimate Fighter, where it's like a longer one where they can start seeing these guys if they can perform at that level.
Yeah.
And then you can start signing guys to guaranteed money, because when you think about it, this is like a combat sport at the end of the day. It can be someone's day where they're just not good enough and they suck, and then, it's a split second and then their life is ruined where like they could be hurt for the rest of their life and stuff. Are you going to take a risk and delve out $30 million on one person who it could be taken away the next day? So I definitely understand these fighters should be getting paid a lot more, but I definitely understand the UFC's outlook on like having like an insurance policy.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. I just think it's pretty ridiculous for them to get to the point where they.
It's definitely ridiculous, and it definitely should not happen. But I can definitely see from the business side why they would be like inept to put these clauses in and like not sign their fighters to big deals, if that makes sense.
But if you're going to be the third most popular sport, then you should be paying
dog shit. Yeah. Right. Well, UFC's also in a weird lane right now where they don't have like a big. I know Conor's fighting Poirier soon again here in Vegas, but they don't have like a big attraction like them. There's like Sean O'Malley who's like he has like tie-dye hair and he's weird and he's a knockout guy, and he was like in Conor McGregor's camp and he talks shit, but nobody's as good as him and like polarizing. Right. They don't have those like polarizing figures, and that's why you need like a.
And that's probably why boxing right now is like so big with like entertainers.
Right. Well, like you need like. Yeah, UFC thrives off of like shit talking and like that fakeness of like WWE where like you can talk some shit. You need, because that's what draws people. Two guys could be great fighters, but if none of them talk and none of them say outlandish things, nobody's gonna watch the fight. And that's where like boxing is getting back to that, where you're seeing these like personalities. That's what drives everything, like personalities. Like Deontay Wilder's a personality. Tyson Fury, he's funny on the mic. You have the Tank Davis, who is Floyd's dude, who just won the fight. He TKO'd someone when he just hit him in the gut. He talks shit. You need those shit talkers, because that's what like is gonna attract people. You know.
Speaking of shit talkers, did you see that that they had that TikTok versus YouTuber fight?
Yeah,
where,
dude.
Bryce Hall, and they're like not getting paid, but they also sold less pay-per-views than the Jose Canseco Barstool fight.
Yeah, they sold. I think they were projected to sell. I think they wanted to sell like 500,000 tickets, and they only sold like 120,000.
Yeah.
See, the problem with that is there was no money. Like I watched Impulsive, and Mike Malak was talking about how Danny Duncan pulled out. He was supposed to fight, and he pulled out. Danny Duncan pulled out because there was money issues. Like he saw that well before it happening. So they were like. They called it along before that. Jake Paul said there's no way they're going to be able to give out 5 to Bryce, 5 to Austin, $1 million to Taylor. Somebody linked Social Club, Taylor Holder and Austin Mahomes owning McBroom, whatever his name is. Austin McBroom and Taylor Holder owning Social.
Yeah, I didn't see about that Taylor Holder, but I seen about that Austin McBroom. I could definitely believe it. He seems kind of scummy. You know what I mean?
I've never watched his YouTube and everything.
The thing is, he like does like a lot of family content, but I've seen like videos. He accidentally posted one. He like forgot to edit the part out where like he's like forcing his kids to like say stuff to the camera and stuff, and he's like, "Say this, say it," like getting mad, and it's kind of like that's kind of fucked.
Yeah, no, I've definitely heard some things about him where it's not like shows him in a good light, but I saw something and it was like legal documents, and it shows that he's a co-owner. Triller has some money in it, and then what's its face? Taylor Holder has some money into it. So I don't know. First of all, Bryce Hall is not a $5 million generator. He's a dude that like dances like.
Here's the thing: who's
TikTok.
gonna buy the fights? You know, and
Right.
it was $50 some.
It was more than Logan Paul and KSI in the second fight.
Right. That, and it's a $50 some, and who are their fans? Young girls.
Kids.
Young kids.
Yeah, girls.
Young girls mainly. They ain't gonna buy a boxing fight.
Why would they do that?
If they're gonna go up to their dad, hey dad, you want to buy a boxing fight? Maybe, maybe some of the dads would be like, okay.
Boxers who are dancers mostly.
Yeah, I don't.
I saw that blowing up before. The numbers didn't make sense. You're gonna spend. Yeah, it didn't make sense because
they hired an auditor and a bunch of like law firms now to go through because they know that they sold more pay-per-views. I think a lot of people just illegally streamed it.
Well, of course, that's going to be an issue with everything, and UFC deals with that all the time. But even at the end of the day, so you sold 100,000 tickets, that's $5 million. So you have to pay that to one person, and if you did your goal of doing the $500,000 times the 50, that's 25 million. You probably barely have money to pay everyone. And DJ Khaled was there.
Right, yeah, you got all these performers.
Fat Joe and everyone else. So what did they get? Have they got paid? So it's a Ponzi scheme. You're gonna see with like a lot of these. Heaven forbid TikTok is over in a year. You're gonna see so many of these kids not do anything.
Well, here's the thing. I think we both have done blogs about TikTokers and had them retweet it.
Yeah, I've had a couple retweeted by TikTokers.
They don't get many views.
No, their problem is their audience is based in one thing. A lot of these TikTokers aren't taking their audience from one established platform to another. Somebody that has and is super successful and will be far successful after TikTok is Miss Charlie D'Amelio. She is the smart. Her team, her parents, whatever, are the smartest individuals in the TikTok game. They've taken one from one audience, blown that up. They're on YouTube, Instagram, everything. She will be long successful when TikTok's said and done. And you're right. We're not going to name drop, but we've done plenty of blogs on TikTokers, and it's not reciprocated. It gets a lot of retweets, a lot of likes, a lot of engagement as far as comments go, but does not result in the clicks that you think that it would get.
Even if they have million followers on that platform.
I think one time I got like 500 retweets off of one article, and I don't even think I got 500 views. Yeah, right. So it's like nobody clicked on this. They just are retweeting it because their person that they like retweeted it. I've even had articles quoted by TikTokers and then like get like little views, maybe a couple maybe 1,000 maybe I think was my most successful.
And that isn't that many views.
No, in retrospect of everything, if it was like an organic thing where you're getting the 1,000, sure, but if it's it's crazy. This like it's Ponzi scheme. A lot of these TikTokers and stuff, and you see like all these weird houses form, and then they're done quickly because the management and everything. It's a Ponzi scheme at the end of the day. And I think Josh Richards said it best, why Sway has been sustainable over a lot of these other houses, and he was like candid. He's like, because they get with these weird people who put up front money and then they don't back them at the end of the day, and that's why he talks about being with Talent X and all that, like the management behind it, and why that's super important for all these young kids. Because at the end of the day, these 16, 17, 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, they're getting taken advantage of for what they're producing to what they're like probably cashing out and what they're putting in their pockets. And like that's like super unfortunate, but at the end of the day, that's the only way they're going to be able to learn. And you're going to see, heaven forbid, TikTok goes away in a year and a half or whatever, you're going to see a lot of these kids like disappear and you won't hear from again because they haven't understood like, okay, great, you have 60 million on TikTok, but why do you only have 100,000 followers on Instagram?
Right. You got to bring that platform over.
Right. You have, especially when you get established, and there's people that have been successful at doing it. Like Taylor Holder is really successful. His ex-girlfriend, the Charlie girl or whatever her name is, she's really successful at doing it. Josh Richards, maybe Bryce Hall, I don't know too much.
Right.
But the main players, they'll be sustainable. But yeah, it's definitely a weird game right now. It's interesting.
Next topic.
Well, I have it's Bobby Bonilla Day. It's July 1st. Bobby Bonilla, obviously the Met and Giants, Giants and Pirates and Mets. He gets paid 1.19 million every year on July 1st until 2035, and he'll be 72 when it stops. So his agent, first of all, he has the greatest agent in all of agents to negotiate this deal.
That's nuts.
He hasn't played in the MLB officially since 2001, and he was like one of the big time steroid users and like accused of steroids, and he signed a huge deal with the Mets, but then he got like a buyout or traded or whatever. But his agent made it so if it happened, the Mets would still owe him 1.19 million until 2035.
That's
and
nuts.
so he'll get paid 34 years, for 34 years after he's done playing. So he'll probably make like $40 million when it's all said and done.
Smart.
And he hasn't played.
Best agent.
If other people have not contacted him, they're crazy. And also, the second greatest agent of all time is Kelly Oubre Jr.'s agent. For him to have it make all these teams interested in him, you're going to see Kelly Oubre Jr. get the bag, and unjustifiably so. I hope, Knicks, if any of you are watching, I hope you don't sign that man. But he's going to his agent is the second best in sports. The reason he's getting cashed out like this constantly, and everyone's interested. But shout out to Bobby Bonilla's agent, because July 1st is always a holiday.
Make it rain.
Must be nice to know every year July 1st comes.
Just no matter what, just July
1.1.
1st. Like, here we go.
Oh, it's almost 1.2. It's basically 1.2. Yeah, I guess that's the other story. I mean, all this Britney Spears and Britney Spears talk and what's his face, Bill Cosby. But I really don't understand too much to start going down those.
Yeah, the Britney Spears stuff gets me.
Like,
I don't know why they declined her thing, because how old is she? She's a fucking grown woman.
She's in her 40s.
Yeah,
man.
Why can't she control herself? She obviously can.
I don't know what she signed or whatever, the logistics of everything. Just
Stupid.
Free Britney, let her be, let her live her life. Obviously, she's being controlled by her dad and all these other people involved. I don't know, I don't have enough information. I just know that she should not be, she should be able to go and live her life and not be controlled by people. She's not 12 anymore,
right?
And that's also a dirty game of these Hollywood, when you have child actors and child prodigies and stuff, they get taken advantage of big time by their parents, and their parents are the ones. So hopefully there's some resolution. They can bring this to another court or something, or bring it up until they're denied.
They should be
on a
able
bigger
to.
level. But yeah, that's wild.
And the Bill Cosby stuff, I don't know enough.
Well, I just watched a couple videos, and basically in 2005, Bill Cosby had his lawyers came to an agreement with the attorney, basically saying that he shouldn't be able to be questioned and talked on the stand. And then in 2012, a different attorney questioned Cosby on the stand, and then the Supreme Court got read that whatever script that was, and they ruled that was against the agreement that they had, and so he was released under the Philadelphia Supreme Court. And most likely, if that second attorney didn't talk to Cosby, he'd still probably be in jail. So I don't know. It's weird. There's I've gone down the rabbit hole in the Cosby conspiracy, why he was arrested, and it's not even for the whatever he did to these women. I assume he did, but if you go down these rabbit holes, there's somebody that said Bill Cosby was arrested because a home that he owns in Massachusetts has the biggest oil reserve in Mass, under his house, the neighborhood he lives. Mm-hmm. So a government and an oil agency, they won't name who it is, asked him to here's money, we'll buy your house, and they're no, we will not move. So that was another thing. But I mean, that could be really small. But,
yeah.
It's just a crazy thing.
Crazy.
It's crazy. So hopefully Britney gets her reparations, and I don't know what's going to happen to Bill Cosby. I don't really care what happens to Bill Cosby. He's kind of despicable.
Yeah, I'm kind of...
Yeah, but yeah, it's weird. It's definitely weird.
What else can we talk about? Shit. It's been a good month for PSE. We talked about that. Yeah. We talked about the little topics. Be sure to click subscribe.
That'll definitely help.
We'll have more content throughout the week posted here on YouTube. Shout out to Bulls, Bears, and Squares for the pizzas.
Thank you.
You said that like you were about to cry.
I burped. I burped. Thank you. Sorry, I burped and I'm like breathing. Yeah, I'm very touched that you guys.
Yeah.
No, thank you. Seriously.
Yeah. Yeah, we're probably gonna go check out some parts of Vegas here in a little bit. Maybe we'll record some videos and post them on here. I don't really got anything else to say.
No, I think you've touched everything. I think you did a good job wrapping it up.
Bill Cosby might have touched everything.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, click like, click subscribe.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
That was good.